Hello, my beautiful people. It's Adria. I'm here on day 5. Oh my goodness, it is day 5. Let me put that up. I can't believe it's day 5, but it is day 5 of 30 lives in 30 days. And I think that's amazing. Um, because I'm challenging myself. I'm challenging myself to tell you stories right from my heart. This one is not a particularly easy one today. So we'll see where it goes. I'm going to take you back to a time long ago when I was about 25, I think. And I take you, the scene is in Milano, Italy's industrial city and fashion city and the arts, in the Galleria. The Galleria is right across the street from La Scala, one of the most famous opera houses in the world, as you know. And I used to dream when I first came to Italy, someday I'm going to come out of a performance and I'm going to sit in this restaurant just like all the greats of long ago and dine and laugh and sing and have a great time. Well, I was very excited. I'd already been studying in Italy probably almost a year. I've been living and studying voice there. And I got a telephone call from the president of the Dante Alighieri Society. Well, the Dante Alighieri Society gave me scholarships several times. And they also gave me a scholarship this time to go to Italy, which added to the pot so that I could stay there for 6, 8, 9 months. So the president calls me. Her name was Ann Bennett, and she said, I will take you to Beefy Scala for lunch. Well, I was thrilled out of my head. As a student, there was no way I could afford to go to that restaurant. So we go to the restaurant. I meet her. I'm so happy. I haven't seen her in months. Happy to see her, but she seems a little strange to me. And we sit down at the table, and she says to me, Adria, I have to say, I'm very disappointed in you. Disappointed in me? Why? And she said, well, we had our meeting at the Dante Alighieri Society last week, and your mother and father were there, and they told us what was going on with you, and I am very disappointed in you. They told me that you weren't singing anymore. I said, what? The only reason why I'm staying in Milano is so that I can study with my teacher 2 or 3 times a month. What do you mean I'm not singing anymore? And your father told me that one of the reasons why you'd stopped singing is you ran away with a dishonorably discharged sailor and you were a prostitute. Fellow humans, all I can say to you is I felt like all the breath had been knocked out of my body. And in this gorgeous restaurant where I had such dreams, I hung my head and I didn't have words and I cried. I told her that it wasn't true that I had stopped singing, that I was continuing to sing, and that I was indeed married to Commander Gerald Wilson Cook in the US Navy. And as for being a prostitute, I wasn't even going to address that. That was something that my father and mother used to throw around as an insult. Later on, I understood the why they said these horrible things. The only person who had been dishonorably discharged and jailed for 6 months was my father for stealing from the Cuban Navy. So he used his life to condemn me. Well, Sounds like an opera, doesn't it? I think I was in the right business. What I realized was my mother, when she discovered that I had talent, was overjoyed because she thought I was a ticket out of a life that she really disliked. When she met new people, she would say, "I'm Rita, and you know I never wanted a child. This is a miracle." When you start life like that, and then that changed to worship of the singer. Oh, the singer was extraordinary. My mother loved that. But who I was, what was my favorite color, what food did I like, she had no idea. She never knew me. Now, forgiveness. I have been forgiving and forgiving and forgiving and forgiving this incredible betrayal for many years. Bit by bit, it gets lighter. Bit by bit, it's more distant. And bit by bit, the lesson starts rising. And that's what I invite all of you to realize. I believe, subjective, purely subjective, I believe that our souls decide what we need to learn so that we even pick our parents. Well, I picked doozies, and I think I must have needed to learn these lessons. They were horrific lessons. They were lessons that at times I didn't think I would survive. But I did. I did. And as I journeyed to forgiveness, because it's a journey, well, maybe it's, again, just me, but I can't just let something go and forget about it completely, not when it's that big. It shaped my life. It shaped risks I took. It shaped self-confidence. It shaped self-awareness, self-concept, self-esteem. It affected all of those things. And I had to build it not from the center ahead, but had to go back and build up some basic self-love before I could go forward. And what I understood is that my father had a very valuable asset in me because people were interested in me, and he was a con man and he could fleece them. My mother, I gave her worth and that she could brag about this fabulous artist that she created. Well, maybe in a way she did. That's why I ran away to the circus, to opera, to theater, because it was a much more beautiful world than the world I lived in. So what I learned from this is I learned the why, because all of a sudden, what they valued, because they didn't have self-worth or self-love, neither one of them, by the circumstances of their lives, they passed it on to their child. And had I been less strong, there were many times when I really didn't think I was going to make it. I mean, make it just to be alive on the earth. But I always feel as though my angels interceded and asked me to stay because I haven't completed my purpose yet. And maybe part of my purpose is sharing these stories, no matter how uncomfortable they are. So forgiving is not about the other person. It's not about them. Forgiveness is about you. Forgiveness The value of forgiveness is for us. It's not for them. And when I finally understood that, my perception of the value of forgiveness changed. It increased greatly. On top of that, one of the things that really helped me with this deep, deep, deep pain was to write. Write the most horrific letters, not for anyone else's eyes, only for my own eyes. For me to vent my pain. Now, for some people, it's, go for a 5-mile run, beat up a pillow, scream and yell and jump up and down. For me, it's writing. I will write out my pain, and then I'll destroy the letter. That is not for mailing. That is not for mailing. That is not. We can use the truth to really harm people if you want to. You can really harm them with a self-righteous, I'll tell you the truth. I can remember so many times when my mother was hurting me and I wanted to tell her the truth to hurt her. I wanted to hurt her. I wanted to say to her, oh, you think you're so high and mighty. Let me tell you about your husband. Let me tell you how many families he's had and what he's doing. The only purpose was to hurt, to harm. Something inside of me went, nope, that is not honorable. Don't do it. So it was always a big fight. And the fight was, what am I learning? What is the lesson? So I would write out my pain, my hatred, my anger, my fury, and then I would burn it, or I would shred it, or I would bury it, or just get rid of it. It is not for the other person. And finally, what you do when you forgive is you finally get to the place where you let go of the pain. When you are willing to let go of the pain. Is it easy? Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it. So let go of the pain and keep the lesson. For me, the greatest lesson, no, there were several. The first was hurt people. Oh, they do. The more hurt you are, the more you can hurt others. And then the first person you need to forgive is yourself. Really important. So take these lessons. Remember that forgiveness is for you. It is not for the other person. I write out my pain, my anger, my fury. What do you do? Let me know what it is that you do to release the pain in your heart when someone has hurt you. I will talk again on forgiveness because there is so much and so many different colors to forgiveness. There is an Indian proverb that says, no matter how well you mend the rope, there is still the knot. So the lesson, to me, the lesson remains. Keep the lesson so that you don't put yourself in that situation again. I, on the other hand, have put myself in a situation many, many times when I was treated like a push-me-pull-me toy. You're valuable to me now. I love you. I like you. Oh, aren't you wonderful? Not in the mood. Oops. I'm going to leave you alone. And then I'm going to pick you up. We teach others how to treat us, don't we? So take the lessons that you have learned. Take them to your heart, not with bitterness and not with anger. Write that out and get rid of it. I'm not saying be a saint and don't feel it, because if you pretend you don't feel it, and I used to do that, when I was a lot younger. I would try to get into this saintly, everything is going to be fine. I can handle this. I'm great. I'm doing well. Baloney. I was angry. I was hurting. I was furious. Write it out and try very hard to keep the consciousness of the lesson that you learned. Because when you do that, this can actually change your life. This can change your life. So, dear ones, take an example from what I'm doing and share. Share what you have learned. Do 5 lives in 5 days. I'll send you a copy of You Are the Artist of Your Life. It's a little journal for you to write in. I'm not bribing you. That's just, I want to share something. That's all. But learn. Keep the lessons and let go of the pain. And that's all I have to say today on the 5th day of 30 Lives in 30 Days. And it's Audria saying, I'll see you later, alligator. Bye.